Hey guys, welcome back to the Transformation Church Weekly Follow-Up Podcast. I am your host, Justin Oswald.
Yep.
You introduce us.
And I'm the co-host.
You already started that
Brad
over?
Livingston. No, we don't do that.
Yeah, why would you?
We don't do that. Yeah, I'm your co-host, Brad Livingston. Hostess with the most. I'm not a hostess.
Hostesses, like plural. Not a hostess, but a hosts.
I think it's like hostess. Like, we're the best host.
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
You've got Justin and I on the borderline of delirium today.
The podcast.
On the podcast.
John Sapp.
Y'all got a lot going on this week.
John
Sapp's
telling? Here.
Oh, yeah, John's here. Before we get into
Heard,
that.
not seen.
Hey, everybody.
Good to have you, John. Yeah, if you're watching, you can't see him. If you're listening, you won't know the difference.
John's our version of Bobby Lee. That was funny.
I have a story to tell you guys.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding. I won't go there.
Do you know that?
I have no idea.
We was talking about it at lunch. It's John's our version of Bobby Lee. So if you know what we're talking about, you laughed at that. If you don't, it's fine. So
it's okay. It's not a big deal.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No FOMO here. So.
What were we talking about?
John was talking about how we got a lot going on this week. We'll be in Phoenix.
More specifically, Gilbert.
Gilbert? Is it like a small city outside
Here's
of
the
Phoenix?
thing with Phoenix. Phoenix has got a lot right there. Like Phoenix and Scottsdale and Tempe and Mesa, Arizona. Those are all like right there.
Really? I don't know nothing about all that.
What church y'all going to?
I don't know nothing about all that either. Literally?
I think it's called, I mean, I can look. I forget the name of it.
My mom asked me this at lunch. She texted me the other day. Then she asked me at lunch. My mom likes to be nosy. All right.
Well,
Mom, if you're watching, all moms like to be nosy. My mom likes to be extra nosy. And so the problem is she oftentimes wants information I don't have.
Oh, well, there's that.
Like, in all fairness, I think a lot of people underestimate how much Justin takes off my plate at TC.
Central Christian Church.
Justin takes a lot off the plate at TC. One of the reasons we're able to do what we do is because Justin does what he does so well here at TC.
I don't know.
And so, so oftentimes, like the GLS, this year we're going to aim to make the GLS a pretty big deal around here.
Global Leadership
Summit.
Yep.
We're going to be a host site. You can sign up for it. Big names across the world.
When is that happening here?
It's August?
August, yeah.
Yeah, so I was literally just talking to a group of pastors before I came here about it, like the whole nine, because they were asking what we were flying to Phoenix for. Anyways,
yep.
So we're going to make it a big deal. All that to say is there's a number of things that we would do as a church that sometimes would fall on the lead pastor. Justin handles a lot of that for me, to the degree that a lot of times when it comes to a trip like tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just getting on a plane tomorrow and...
Well, that's what we're doing. I mean, I'm doing too. I mean,
Justin's going.
I just set up the
he didn't set it up for me. He set it for us. He's going as well. But he like does the plane. I mean, like my mom was like, so what are y'all gonna do? And I was like,
Yep.
I mainly, and it's also because like, I don't know. It's just the way that I travel.
That is so interesting.
It's also hard to describe it. Like what I've been telling people is like we're going to like this conference. It's not really a conference.
But that's the easiest way to.
It's the easiest way to explain.
Is Craig Rochelle going to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean I don't understand how you can think that way. Because for me, I'd be like, what are we doing? How are we doing it?
Well, yeah.
I just like to know those things. I guess.
The thing for me is I know Justin is a very detail oriented person, and he's going as well.
Yeah, so
he's gonna know what he's doing because he loves to travel. Like this is his vibe
for sure.
So if this were someone else. Like if Jawan was scheduling this trip, I'd have way more questions.
Even Jonathan.
If Jonathan was scheduling the trip, I'd have way more questions. But we've also traveled together a lot. Me
That's
and Justin
true.
have
and Jonathan's going with us.
So.
Jonathan's going with us.
Yeah,
too.
PJ's going too. So
I guess my questions wouldn't be questioning what we're doing. It's more so like just to find out what exactly are we doing? Oh, okay, cool. Like that kind of.
Well,
thing.
I'll tell you. So we're gonna get there Wednesday at 1:30 or so in the afternoon.
Right on.
Go to the hotel. We'll have about 3 hours to kill, which is kind of nice. So we'll probably get to the hotel. Like we'll have our laptops if there's anything we need to do work-wise.
That's why you are.
That type of thing. And then
so
they load there's buses that load at like 4:45 or something. that take us everywhere. So we get on the bus and we're doing this dinner. There's a big event space out in the desert somewhere called like Desert Foothills. It's like an event space that's like on a ranch or something cool. So they said prepared for it to be like a casual. They kept using the word blue jeans. Like this is a dusty. It's like at a ranch in the Southwest in Arizona. So
don't come in no suit.
Don't come in a suit. So it's gonna be. And it's gonna be cold that night. So it's gonna be like in the 50s. Yeah, colder. I mean, gonna
dry
be
cold. It's good.
Gonna be in the 50s.
Nice
so from what I can gather, looking at some of the pictures, because I was looking up online, but it's like there's like fire pits. So they bring everybody out there and they just do like a welcome dinner, kind of like a party, like a type thing, like a social.
Yeah.
Last year when we went, so if anyone remembers when we went to Oklahoma City last year, this is the same event, just different city. Yeah. Different kind of thing, and it's a couple months earlier. We went like in April, I think.
I think COVID kind of jacked it up last year.
I think so.
Yeah.
So the initial dinner last year was in this big place. It was like banquet style. We're all at table. This is they're making I guess the most out of where they're at, which is kind of cool. So it's like it's in, and I've never been to the Southwest, so I'm looking forward to like the desert ranch.
Yeah.
Event thing type. So that's gonna be Wednesday night. So it's pretty informal. And then the day starts early on Thursday. We load buses at like 7:15, and the church is like 30 minutes away or something. So they take us to the church, and then we're part of some. They're filming something for the Global Leadership Summit, and we're the studio. We're the audience.
Oh,
we're like the live audience, so we get to see the.
Sounds fun.
We get to see the presentation, but we're part of the audience.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool. So then there's that and then fun. That goes to lunch, and then after lunch there's 4 breakout sessions. One is Albert Tate, and one is Craig Rochelle, which will be like his is a leadership Q&A. And then we get to go back. That day's over, and then we'll have Thursday night free, so we'll find dinner, whatever, somewhere. And then Friday starts early again. And it's kind of a same type of thing. There's a session and then something with Judah Smith, which is what I'm excited about. I love Craig Rochelle. Saw him last year, so it's cool to see him again. But I love Judah Smith. So Judah's doing this thing, and then Craig Rochelle's doing the closing session.
Is this live streamed at all?
No. And then Craig Rochelle's doing the closing session, and we leave. We'll be done by lunch on Friday, and then we Uber to the airport, and our flight back is like at 2:45 on Friday. So we'll be back Friday night. It's a short little trip.
Sounds like a blast.
It's gonna be cool.
Sounds like
the Craig Rochelle stuff. Anytime he's ever there, is like
Craig Rochelle's.
I mean, it's worth going just to hear some little nugget he drops.
Yeah.
And it's cool because we're a host site. We don't have to pay to go to this. Like it's all like, I'm going to use the word free, but it's
prepaid.
It's free, essentially.
It's free to us.
It's free to us. So that's cool. And we just had to get ourselves there, but thank goodness for points, right?
Yeah.
That's how we got flights.
Yeah,
so it really is like a free trip.
Yeah, we're all going to Phoenix for free.
Yeah, so we'll take that. So I'm excited. I've never been out that way. I've never been west of Dallas, and I've only been to the Dallas airport. So I'm excited about
right on
there.
Yeah.
They say it's pretty nice.
You never been to California or anything?
No. I'm gonna try to go this year because my uncle and them and my cousins now live out closest to San Francisco. I'd like to go visit them and see it, but I'm afraid if I'm there, it's like when that, in the movie where they have the earthquake and the whole state just slides into the
2012
ocean.
or whatever that movie was.
I feel like when I'm there, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then That's really interesting. I don't know why. I didn't even think about it like
from the rest of the country.
Yeah. It sounds like a 6 thing.
No. I do want to go out there. It does. I have a line to 6.
The line. Enneagram talk.
No, so no, it's gonna be a good little trip. So obviously I know you haven't packed or anything.
Yeah. No, not a chance.
I may have to watch.
I couldn't find a shirt today I was looking for.
I may have to wash some clothes tonight. I mean, I got to pack
just a few.
I'm picking one little bag.
Clothes, yeah.
One little bag and a book bag with my.
Yeah, I think we learned last year. I think I overpacked last year because I didn't know what to expect. The GLS, there's a lot of CEOs and bigwigs that are involved in that conversation. So I kind of packed like 2 different wardrobes, not knowing what to expect. And I got there and was like, okay, this is
It was pretty cool. We were in hoodies, I think.
Yeah.
It was freezing in Oklahoma City.
It was really cold, yeah.
But It's gonna be pretty casual. Yeah, I'm planning on it being pretty. I'm gonna be jeans the whole time and
No doubt.
long sleeve shirt.
Jeans, J's, and long sleeve shirts.
Jacket maybe.
Yeah,
sounds like a good time.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll be ready to get back, but I like a little trip. I like a little travel.
Little trip.
We'll pack. We gotta be at the airport early. The flight boards at 6:30. It's early.
Yeah, to Atlanta, right? Then from Atlanta to Phoenix, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
If I remember correctly.
Think so.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time you're hearing about it. So.
No, we talked about it
I
yesterday.
sent y'all the boarding passes.
We talked about it yesterday.
I think.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny, man. Like, most people like underestimate it about me. So it's so funny. People see me two different ways. So they see me as a leader and they really think I just don't, like, I'm very nonchalant as a leader. They couldn't be more wrong. Like, in this space, I'm very...
But like, as a pastor? Or just like...
I think both. As the person leading this organization, I think people think I'm very nonchalant. Like, I don't...
That aren't in leadership.
Right, like, just like...
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, John is clarifying because that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm not very...
Yeah, right.
Pretty, yeah. I have opinions. So they think that I'm either, very like nonchalant about that. Because like when people, if they only see me on Sundays,
sure,
I don't.
Sundays,
I'm not. Our team is incredible, so I don't have to stress out on Sundays, right? So, and then if something does go wrong on Sunday, it's not because somebody forgot something. Usually, it's like something that's out of everyone's control. There's nothing you can do about the internet. Turn it off or whatever. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They like see me as like nonchalant or whatever, and that's not the case. Or the people that do lead with me know that is not the case.
Yeah.
And would be shocked to know. Like even the question you asked earlier. Like I think you get people like you and Lydia and Phaedra, like people that are leaders in the church, would be shocked at how uninvested I am in travel plans. Like when it doesn't have to do with this, when it doesn't have to do with the church, I don't care at all about most things. Like it's so funny.
Not me, I do.
Like when it comes to travel plans,
that's the reason why I was like, that's very interesting, considering I've seen the other side of how much you actually care about a lot of things.
Yeah, no, when it's like whenever we're like stepping away from the space, like family vacations and stuff, they're like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care about this. I don't care about that. As long as the decisions are like competent, I could care less." So yeah,
that's the problem.
It's pretty.
You don't know that they are.
Well, that's fair. I mean, so a lot of times I've just like resolved to not care. So, anyways,
there's that.
We're talking about me or anything, but yeah, I don't. So yeah, when it comes to this, like Justin's got it, whatever. So, and Justin, this again, like this is your vibe, traveling and like making sure that like you get to experience all the things you want to experience. That's like,
well, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, definitely. I want to get there. Like, I'm not going to be late, so it's like, if you're going with me, you're not going to be late. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make sure we get there.
Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah. Y'all carpooling together?
Probably not so early as it is.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, no.
You talking about the airport?
Yeah, it'd be 5:30.
Ash dropped me off.
Yeah, I just know the last time that you, that one time that you got there late.
Brad was a little late to the last one.
Well, that did happen.
Just don't want that same thing to happen to you again.
No, it's not going to happen. I can promise you that. Did you get your TSA pre-check thing going?
There's no more appointments.
I know I took the last one.
There's no more.
Yeah.
I looked at it the other day.
Yeah.
Does that like get you through it a little faster? Is that
you don't have to wait in the security line.
It ain't going to do you no good this trip.
No, it won't do me good. But I was just thinking about it. Anyways, well, she's still with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just talked to each other. So the message on Sunday was very good.
Yep, we did that.
Imagine.
Take your place.
What was it called?
Take your place.
Oh, Commitment Day is what I was getting.
Commitment Day, yeah. Take your place was the name of the message. We did it on Commitment Day for the Imagine campaign.
A whole lot of things there.
Man.
There's a lot going on that day.
It was good, though. It was good.
It's very good.
We've catch everybody up. If you don't know, Doing the Imagine campaign.
Number 1, where you been?
Yeah.
Number 2,
kicking off the Imagine campaign. You can join us right now, actually, if you want. If you've yet to turn in your pledge or your commitment card, we want to ask you to pray about doing that. I believe the Lord wants you to do it. What he wants you to pledge, I think you need to be praying about. You know, and one of the conversations we were having earlier, Justin, like yesterday, that I think is good to like just kind of bring up was like, you know, I think sometimes people, whenever you go into a campaign, they start thinking about giving, like when they think about what they're going to pledge or what they're going to give, they do it from the context of like, well, I make this much money. This is what my bills are. This is what I have left over. I can afford to give blank. Right. But you were saying yesterday, like, that it's important that people start thinking about that a little differently, more on a sacrificial level. Like you were unpacking that yesterday, and I thought it would be good for like people to hear.
Yeah, in our meeting.
Yeah.
Just I do think that's just our tendency. You know, a human tendency is to, you know, look at what you know from income. You know how much you got left over. You know, make a pledge, but. You know, when we really start looking into the purpose behind the campaign, and I don't mean the purpose of raising the money because we're doing an expansion. I just mean ultimately this is about generosity and things like that too, ultimately. Mm-hmm. But being more sacrificial, you know, and that's how I came to that because I did it in my line of thinking when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to pledge. Mm-hmm. You know, first I was like, well, you know, but even when the creative giving stuff that we had, which is all on the website, all the information about Imagine is on our website, but even the creative giving, I mean, when you really look at knowing that I eat out a lot, stuff like that, knowing that like one meal a week over 3 years, you know, one meal a week over 156 weeks is a significant amount of money. So even if I could afford, quote unquote, afford a $5,000 pledge. Right. If I just sacrificially, and is it that much of a sacrifice to give up a one eating out meal a week or a Starbucks or whatever? At the end of the day, that number is so big, you know. So if you can afford 5, but will not eat out once a week for 156 weeks, you really could pledge about $8,000. Yeah, and that's a big increase, you know, like
that's over the 3 years.
Yeah.
I just kind of clarifying that because like sometimes they don't always hear the 3-year thing and they're like, oh, to give $8,000 on.
No, it's over 3 years.
I heard somebody talking about it the other day. I had to clarify that for them.
And whether that's we're not monitoring how you do that. Like you can do it weekly, monthly, you know, annually, whatever.
Someone talked about like they're giving like a third of their tax income or their tax.
Right.
What's it called?
A refund.
Tax refund each.
So that's your business. But what I was getting at is just. Even if you looked at your finances and you're like, okay, I can do 5,000 over 3 years. Right. Or even let's say you do more 10,000 over 3 years. Yeah. But you didn't look at the creative giving and say, well, I do hit up Starbucks twice a week. And listen, go get your Starbucks once a week. Treat yourself. But if you gave up one out of those 2 at that $5 plus a meal a week, I think what is it? Can you look right now?
20 a week comes out to $3,120.
Right. So
over the 3 years.
And in that sheet, it's like if you did the Starbucks and one meal a week, the eating out, that totals like $7,000. Yeah. So that's a lot of money or something. And I could have the numbers off a little bit, but again, even at $20 a week, that's another $3,000. So if I was gonna pledge 5, I can pledge 8. Is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And that's not doing the other stuff. That's just a meal, right? There's other ideas, you know. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I was like, if I can pledge, if I can pledge 10, I can pledge 13. If I can pledge 5, I can pledge 8. Just doing one meal a week at $20. Right. You know, so that was how I started trying to figure out what like my real pledge is, because there's a bit of a sacrificial. And at the end of the day, you can make the argument is like, is it that much of a sacrifice for me not to go out to eat once a week? It's not. You know, like let's just be real. You know. Yeah. Now imagine somebody really taking a sacrifice like that. Says a lot, you know, really saying we're going to set aside this or we're going to forego that because we believe God's asking us and calling us to do this and to be a part of this mission and part of this vision. Right. That's a big deal. And that's what I think the sacrificial part is. Yeah. So, you know, and I think I think we may be encouraged as this goes on too, that, your pledge can change.
Yeah.
You start seeing God move and bless or whatever. It's
and you start giving a little bit more as it goes,
Mm-hmm. Maybe you thought you could only do $30 or $40 a month, and you start making some sacrifices. You realize, look, we can do $60 a month. That $20 a month over 36 months. How much is that?
If you did 60 a month, comes out to like $9,300
over 36 months, not 156 weeks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What'd you say?
36. 60 by 36 months.
Oh yeah. 2160.
That's a lot.
Yeah. For sure.
It's pretty good.
It's a lot, that, and you add that by, the how many households and families in our church, like all that just starts to really add up.
Yeah, well, I think that's the big thing is a lot of times, like we mentioned on Sunday, like we had 16 families step up and give a little under $400,000 pledge, a little under $400,000 just from 16 families, and that's like super encouraging as a pastor. But sometimes for other people that sit out there, it's like, man, I can't. I'm not at $30,000 over 3 years. They're just not in that financial category. The big thing to understand is it's like, well, that's, you don't have to be. You know what I mean? Like Justin's saying, 8 or 10 grand over 3 years is doable for most. I would say most. That may not be fair, but a lot of people, it is very doable. And your $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 pledge, when 30, 50, or 100 people do that.
Well, here's
in really good shape.
I don't know. Are you ready to give any numbers out?
Sure. For where we currently are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the average pledge based on how many pledges have come in, how many households, the average pledge is just over $9 grand.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So far.
Yeah. So we're at 780,000 in pledges.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is over half.
Yeah.
And some people will tell you that if you can get half of your goal pledged before you start, it's a good indicator you'll hit the goal. I was talking to someone yesterday who is friends with another pastor at a church here in town, a big church, that is familiar with campaigns, and they've done big campaigns, $7, $8, $9 million stuff. And he was encouraged when he heard how, now it's a lot to us, but in the big scheme of things for a lot of churches, it's a small, like 1.2 is a small amount
relatively
compared to a lot of people. So when he heard all we were trying to raise over 3 is 1.2, and when he was told how much we had pledged, he was like, his response to the guy that was telling me this was, "Oh, y'all will hit that no problem.
Oh wow,
you'll hit your goal no problem. If you got that much pledged." Going into, so I mean, we're almost $800,000 out of 1.2 pledged.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and my big invitation to a lot of people out there is to, for those of you that are part of TC and you haven't pledged yet, get those into us, because we've got some big things churning, and decisions to make and conversations to have, and we want to get those pledges in so that we can kind of get that ball rolling, especially coming into March 6th, which is Celebration Sunday, which is when we start giving.
And here's the thing: these pledges aren't binding contracts, but they do help us plan.
Yeah.
So if you're a part of TC, and even if you're going to participate but haven't yet, and then have questions of, I wonder when they're going to start. I wonder when they're going to tell us about this. We need you to be able to make the plan so we can plan, So it's like, sure. Don't hold up progress. It's kind of would be my plea at this point is,
let's go.
God is speaking to the families of TC about this. So have that conversation with him, because he's speaking right now.
Yeah,
I don't know,
he will answer. Ask and he will answer.
Yeah, so if you haven't got yours in, we're asking you to go ahead and do that, just so we can get our planning down and can kind of start moving on some of this. At the end of the day, we want to start moving, and so it's exciting though. But looking at some of those numbers was, that almost 800,000 is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and we'll say this for the people that are part of TC watching. Because me and John are gonna work on a way to get this information, like easily give this information out. But your pledge information is in your account. If you have the Church Center app, and you click in the top right of your picture where it says My Giving. If you go into My Giving and all your giving info there, it also says My Pledges, and it'll show you your pledge amount that you gave the card. And then as you start giving, it'll show against that. So if you pledge 10 grand and you do 50 a week, every week it'll show you how much you've given towards your pledge. And then it also will show you where we're at as our goal as a whole, the whole goal of the whole church.
Yeah.
So all those numbers are there for everyone to see where we're at on our goal, but
total,
then total, and then where you're at on your goal for your pledge
is in your personal
account.
in
your account. So, if you turned a pledge card in, you probably got an email. It might have said it was from me because I was the one putting them in, but I was putting them all in for everybody's accounts and stuff. So it sends everyone an email thanking them for their pledge and how much and the 3-year period and all. So it's kind of cool. The system we have really works great for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No,
it's good.
It's exciting.
That's good. And one of the things we've added since Sunday is the digital commitment card.
Yeah. So you can go to our website. transformationchurch.com, click Imagine, and then if you want to make your pledge, even like you're hearing us today and you haven't done it and you don't have the actual card, you can do it on the website. There's a digital version, so you'll see the button that says make your pledge. You can click that, and that comes to me, and
only.
Yeah, that comes to me, and I'll see it, and then I'll get it put in for your account and all those things. So, but all the information about Imagine, there's some great stuff on like creative giving and things like that. If you just want to see some of that, it's all there. So yeah,
man.
And then what we did not talk a lot about, but I think it maybe in this format is non-cash donations and non-cash assets. If you especially if you're a little older than us, specifically, but if you're over 70 and you have any IRAs and stuff, you start getting to what happens is at some point in life, people get, you buy some IRAs or you start investing in an IRA, but then you may work somewhere where you have a pension or your 401k or whatever, and then you retire, and some people even maybe you didn't forget, but the IRA is so secondary because your retirement kicks in, your 401k kicks in, at 65 your Social Security kicks in, so you have this income coming in, and your IRA is still sitting there, but you do hit an age where you have to start pulling from that and taking the disbursements, or you have some penalties like tax penalties. So there are people that can hit that 70 age where they don't really need the IRAs, but they got to do something with it. It's a great opportunity if you had that and wanted to donate it. Like, don't liquidate it and donate it. Just we can work out where it donates straight to us, and there's some tax benefits for you individually, especially people that may need some tax benefits. So that's there. There's obviously things like real estate, stock donations. Someone called yesterday asking about some if donations.
Nice.
So we can do that. Cryptocurrency, that's not as big, in this type of thing, but if you had crypto, stocks is a big one. Mm-hmm. Stocks, bonds, things like that. Just anything, like, it could be super creative,
Yeah, no, I mean, Sunday, we talked about this idea of taking your place in history.
Yeah.
And that's such a big, all of this is part of the same conversation, it's like, I think particularly our generation being millennials, maybe boomers, I don't know, but definitely millennials and Gen Zers and so on, is we've all been kind of programmed to live for the now, and not necessarily to live for the future in particular, but also for after we're gone, to build a name.
Yeah, that's good.
For ourselves, not for the sake of ourselves, but to have your name on something, like when we're gone, what are we going to be remembered for? A dope Instagram account, or,
it's like the idea of legacy.
It's a legacy conversation. It's like you need to be, I don't want to stand before God one day and all I had to show for it is 10,000 Instagram followers or whatever. Like, I didn't commit to making serious impacts on my community, on my city, in my church, serving, giving, doing all those things, a life of sacrifice, we want to be known for more than that. And so taking our place in history to put our name on something and say yes to sacrificing and being part of something big, and so we jumped into Joshua 6 on Sunday, and we were talking about the Walls of Jericho. That was the basic premise of what we were talking about. And And as we were unpacking that, was the idea that shutting up the walls to keep what you have blocks you from receiving what God has for you.
Yeah.
We say it every week. You can go back and listen or watch the sermon, but, to really get a grasp on what all was being communicated. But, I brought PJ up on stage and I handed him a ping pong ball. And I was like, here, you can keep holding on to this, but you got to hold on to it with both hands and don't let it go. And then I tried to toss him, a basketball,
right,
and he couldn't catch it because he was holding on to the ping pong ball, and kind of helping people understand, like, I think at the end of the day, a lot of people can't catch what God's trying to give them because they're holding on so tightly to what they have. And it's like, man, what if we held a little loosely onto what we have so that when God says, hey, I want to give you this, but to give you this, you got to let go of that, we would be far more inclined to do that, but that's just a faith thing. But, letting go of what we have to get what God has for us is worth it.
Right.
So
it's good.
So yeah, so we talked through that, and so then we read through Joshua 6, how they were marching around the city, and so God tells them, march around the city, you're going to march around it for 6 days. On the seventh day, you're going to march around 7 times, you're going to blow the trumpets, and you're going to shout, and the walls are going to come down, you're going to take the city, right? And the other thing that we talked about on Sunday, is kind of what I think a lot of us do. It's like how we constantly feel like what we have is inferior compared to what we're being asked to do. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, this isn't enough, or this isn't good enough, or whatever. Like we kind of made the joke on Sunday where it's like, all I got to shout. Like if I had the ram's horn, I would feel a lot better about this. And the guy with the ram's horn was like, if I had a sword, I'd feel a lot better about this. And the guy with the sword's like, if I had a cannon, I'd feel a lot better about it. It's like, no matter what you have, it never feels like enough for what God asked you to do, because he always asks more of you than what you're currently capable of. Because now you got to trust him.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And what you have is always enough to do what God is asking of you. That's what we mentioned on Sunday. And so the trumpet sounded, they raid the city, and understanding that faithfulness with what we have is the key to God providing what we need, and sometimes we're looking for provision to be faithful with instead of being faithful with what we already have.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing that God's asking of all of us, so.
It's applicable in a lot of areas of your life, but it's applicable for us as a church right now with everything going on. It's applicable for the people in our church.
Yeah.
And it's applicable in all these areas of life, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's easy to talk finances. I think it's very applicable in finances.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. But
no, certainly not. I mean, we talked about that on Sunday. It's like, this has to do with your marriage and raising your kids, and your career, and your schooling, and whatever. Like, being faithful changes everything, So yeah, so we talked through all that, and on Sunday, and again, you go back and watch it. It was, there's a video in there about TC, for the Imagine campaign, just how TC's impacted people and so on and so forth. Really good.
What we're doing and continuing to impact people is part of this whole mission.
Raising $1.2 million. We can expand this facility
and not take on
any debt. That's the goal.
Yeah.
If we can raise the 1.2.
And maybe it needs to be said just so it doesn't seem like the money is going to come in over 2 years, but we're hopefully going to 3 years, but we're not going to start building till the money. It's not that we're going to wait to expand until the money comes in. So we are going to take on additional debt to make the expansion. Then as the money comes in, it pays that debt back down
over 3 years. We will not have
to where we're currently at. So essentially we'll get this big expansion with the same mortgage that we currently have.
Correct.
It's kind of how it's going to happen at the same time. So we will start the expansion hopefully in 3 years. I would think we'd be done by it.
Yeah.
But we're not waiting till we get so we are taking on a little bit additional debt to start, and then as the money rolls in, we're making monthly payments to the principal payments to the debt as it comes in.
If we're not done in 3 years, I'm gonna go buy some bricks and just start putting them on the ground myself.
Well, I think we'd all at that point just pitch in to figure out how we can make this happen. I mean, maybe shoddy.
Hey, we're not done in 3 years. I'm firing somebody and hiring someone else, and I don't mean Justin. I'm talking about like a contractor.
I mean,
or something like that.
Well, I mean, I think even Pastor Dan wouldn't allow that. He'd be like, "No, we're getting this done ourselves."
Yeah, right. Pastor Dan's out there on a boom lift or something.
I just can't wait to knock down that third building. Like, when we
it's
start
gonna be
seeing
great.
that happen, it's going to look really cool.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm excited. Yeah. Big changes.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the back with all the
I did, bro. They did
It looks
a great
clean.
job.
Looks clean.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how deep that corner was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
Until they cut it all down.
We
It's like, wow.
our back property line on the back of the building was really overgrown, so we had our lawn guy had a buddy that come in with his. I didn't see it, but apparently some type of serious mulcher.
Yeah, they were back
Trimmer.
there for a while doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
But
it looked
the
good.
corner of our property was so overgrown, and I didn't know how deep it was. Like,
Yeah.
we could have used that space when we had the fall festival. When we run out of parking space.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That would have set, another 30 cars in there.
Seriously. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
So we did that, trying to just clean up a little bit. Anyways, what we got? Anything today? You getting some dumb questions?
Oh, you just know it.
There we go.
Questions for Justin.
All right. First question.
We need to put a little
Like a segment introduction.
segment introduction.
If animals could talk, which species would be the rudest of them all?
Oh man.
What does that do? How would one know that?
Just based on their temperament.
I mean, I feel like cats are pretty big buttholes.
Oh, dude, cats are the worst. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like domestic cats got a bigger attitude than like lions and cheetahs and stuff.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that.
I'll tell y'all about the cats that live in my backyard.
No,
We discussed that.
We have a couple of them in ours too.
Oh my gosh.
They get in from the fence and they go hide.
Are they like
underneath the shed.
wild?
I think that they are literally growing up underneath my back porch. Eli jokes and it's like, bro, you have cats now. And I'm like, don't start with me.
Hey, they might keep the rodents down.
Yeah, true that.
Was this after both of your dogs had passed?
So I think they were like born. They were like kittens like last year.
Oh, okay.
Where'd they come from?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I think they just started like chilling. They were in our bushes at one point, like a year ago.
Yeah, see. You just
Then
gonna
they
let them
made
stay
their
or what?
way
You
under
feed them?
Ashley feeds them.
Oh, no, they're not going
Well, that's
nowhere.
why.
No, I know,
they're not
that's
gonna
why-
go
Y'all
to
have
bed,
cats
man.
now.
Ashley has cats.
Y'all have cats
Yeah,
now.
at one point, like, when we had that cold snap was like 3 weeks ago.
Outdoor cats.
She was like, I think I need to bring them into the sunroom. I said, not a chance.
they're fine. I'm telling you right now,
No, they're fine.
You know how I
That's
know
like-
they're fine? Because they're animals.
Yeah.
And there's millions of squirrels and deers and otters
Yeah.
and whatever possums.
Well, I mean, like, I know
that.
that animals get acclimated. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a dog.
Those
that-
cats
that-
ain't acclimated, though.
But they're not. That's what I said. I
See?
said, these cats aren't
You
acclimated.
bring them in, you just acclimated
Yeah,
them.
now they're overheated inside. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, not doing that.
So Ashley has some cats in the backyard.
I think cats would be pretty rude. I feel like a horse sometimes could get a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like horses got an attitude because people are stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a horse just chilling isn't mad, but you start trying to, like,
And I feel like gorillas don't look too nice. Like,
Ooh,
they might have something to say.
you know what animal I feel like you would maybe put on that list, but I feel like could also not be a jerk? Like a crocodile or like an alligator. I feel like a crocodile alligator could be like sarcastic and funny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I just feel like if he could talk, it'd be like,
This
That's
is
possible.
the dumb conversation.
This is the worst.
This is all
like
hypothetical.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like,
No
I
idea.
feel like they would be witty and sarcastic.
No.
I feel like I would hang out with them.
I feel like snakes would be pretty.
Ooh,
Pretty
yeah.
rough.
No,
That's not an animal.
Only one has spoken
What?
over this.
I mean, it's an animal, but it's like a reptile.
spoken, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What? I'm so confused by what you're saying.
You said a snake, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
just talking about an animal, and
It's like a red, like
I know.
crocodile.
It's not like an animal. It's an animal, but I was thinking like a
Not like a mammal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean that's the only one I can think of that could probably be that.
What do you think whales would be like?
I think whales are chill, bro.
Yeah,
I think
like
whales
Cheech
are
and Chong,
chill,
like whales
bro.
just out there like swimming
Yeah,
around.
like the Finding Nemo. Like,
So-
Yeah,
So now the underwater animals are talking too.
yeah,
they're all animals.
they're all
How
animals.
does that even work?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
No,
I mean, whales and dolphins
So
do
I
kind of
know,
talk.
I know this is more of like an insect, but ants are little jerks, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they got a little
Not in the
man
movie. They
syndrome.
weren't.
Okay, okay, Mister. I don't watch any Disney movies.
Well, this is all make believe right now. So
Actually, I think it was DreamWorks,
it was.
That was DreamWorks.
but
Yeah.
they have A Bug's Life, which was just Disney. So
You sure about that?
yeah, 100%.
I have no doubt you're wrong. And I'm just saying, like, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, Ants is DreamWorks.
Okay.
Which is now owned by Disney, I think, so it doesn't really matter.
Disney's like a conglomerate.
All right. You want the next question?
Go ahead.
If you could merge two different animals to create the ultimate animal, what two animals would it be?
Gosh.
And what would be their product?
What does that mean?
Like, what would you call the new animal?
Well, they already have a couple of them out there, right?
Like a deer, bro.
They have, like, ligers. Liger.
Let's from Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Isn't that? But that's a real thing, though, right? And,
Well, I think they breed, like,
You're
I
asking the
think
wrong
some
person.
certain types of jungle cat you can merge together.
Yeah, like cats. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna have like a deer bro running around though.
Maybe.
Where did
Maybe.
zebras come from?
I feel like I've seen a zebra hybrid.
Is a zebra not a horse?
It's not.
It's a kind of horse. It's
like
an
a,
African horse.
It's like a donkey.
That's kind of a horse. They're similar.
It's like the. It's like
Well,
the
you mix. They
family
mix.
of the-
You know, like a mule is a mix between a donkey and a horse.
Is it?
Those are things. Yeah. Well, I don't know if mule is. A mule might be another word for donkey, but there's a mix between a horse and a donkey.
Yeah, but
I thought a donkey was a mix between a horse and a mini horse.
well,
Like small, medium, large.
They're
Like, I
all
don't-
they're different. No.
I don't think so.
Listen,
Though
I
I think he's right though. I think the
think
mule, because like
zebra-
they all have like a weird reaction, like with their voice. They'll have like like that.
What is that?
Mules do that more
does
than
that go?
horses do. Horses like have the neigh, like you know. You know what I'm talking about?
What? Sure, but zebras are like a type of horse, right? Zebras are a cousin to American horses. First of all, weren't from America. The Europeans brought them. They're from Portugal and Spain.
Is that true?
I don't know.
America didn't have its own horses?
Horses. No,
I don't know about that because
Pause. I'm looking that up.
because my fake
y'all
history
dumb?
books have told me that the Native Americans had horses.
Brother,
yes,
I've
the Europeans brought them.
I've never in my life read about horse placement theory. And
Yeah, I haven't either.
Have y'all ever opened a book?
I have, just apparently not these books.
Horses were brought by the Europeans.
Hold on. Are horses from America?
Horses did not exist in the Great Plains.
It says horses are native to North America.
No.
45 million year old fossils of Eohippus.
Now we're
The
beyond
modern
it.
horse's ancestor evolved in North America, survived in Europe and Asia, and returned with the Spanish explorers.
So they're saying they found some fossils 45 million years ago. I'm just talking about in the last.
I got you. Yeah, because we don't even know the Earth was 45 million years ago.
Well.
So this goes back to like the singular continent theory or whatever that thing is
Sure.
called.
But the
Drift
Europeans
theory or
brought
whatever.
the Spanish brought them.
That's
It's like the Great Plains. Like when you watch the movie, Dances with Wolves, and they're riding the horses chasing after the buffalo, they didn't have the horses till the Europeans came.
Continental drift theory.
Yeah.
That's where that kind of drives from.
Continental drift.
So horses are from Portugal and Spain,
Is there a theory in that?
but surely zebras
Is it
are
just
connected.
scientific.
What?
So is there a theory in that, or is that really
There
actually,
is.
Continental
scientific?
drift theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that like at one point all the land masses on the Earth
together,
were
right?
connected,
Yeah.
and then they.
Well, if you
spread
look at
apart.
a map, it sure looks like they were. I mean,
It just seems like they all
South
fit like a
America
puzzle.
fits nicely into Africa. But then there's that. But I'm
Interesting.
just saying, with all these animals, there's a connection.
Mm-hmm. So they're cousins.
And when the flood happened, they all went apart.
There it is.
Anyway.
All right, so we still hadn't answered the question.
Yeah,
yet.
no, I answered the question, I guess.
What
but
if you could merge two animals to create the ultimate animal? What two animals would it be?
First of all, I don't know.
What about like a shark and a gorilla?
Well, how's it gonna live?
I don't know. If the gorilla got gills.
gorilla got gills.
That is this.
I don't know how to.
I'm not even gonna think about this.
I don't know.
There's no
man.
point even thinking about this.
I don't know.
My brain doesn't want to even acknowledge this. I think it's bad enough that donkeys and mules are out there mating,
Apparently.
or whatever.
Allegedly.
Horses and mules, or
Horses and
whatever.
mules.
Horses and donkeys.
Horses and mini horses.
haven't seen the
make donkeys
unicorns?
and mules.
What?
What?
You haven't seen the unicorns?
Where would I see a unicorn, John? Where would one see?
You haven't heard
one?
about that? Never mind. Don't worry about it.
unicorns?
Yeah, about them trying to recreate.
Oh, Oh,
Who is them?
Who is they?
The scientists. I don't know people who
They
are,
need to be.
They're making the thing on the
Yeah,
head.
they're trying to make
What do you
trying to
think?
make pretty much make a unicorn if it hasn't already been
For
made,
what?
So, I don't know.
Just say we can.
Yeah, just say
What's the horn thing made out of? Ivory, like an elephant. First of all,
I have no
elephants are
idea.
real smart.
Elephants are pretty intelligent. Ooh, what if you had like an elephant and a donkey?
For what though?
What would you call that?
Elephonky.
Elephant.
A donkey.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think.
Yeah, I
that's-
mean that's I mean I don't really know what
Is
I
an
would
elk? Wait, hold on.
an elk.
I wonder what the difference between a reindeer and an elk is. Is reindeers real, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, reindeers are real.
I mean,
Reindeers
like
are real.
Rudolph ain't. But
So is like elk? Is a reindeer a mix between like an elk and a deer?
no, they're all different species of stuff.
Wow, interesting.
You got elk, and then you got them. What are them big mooses?
Yeah. Have you ever
Mooses-
seen
mooses
a moose up
in-
close?
Moosing in the woodsing.
Mooses?
Them moose
Meese.
are big, bro.
Meese?
Is meese? Is that plural for moose?
No, it's moose.
Just moose is
You know-
singular and plural.
You know how the American language is.
So anyway, yeah. I mean I don't know.
Which I guess that would be English. American language.
American
You say
English.
geese, but you don't say meese. That's just dumb.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
illogical.
What's a flock of geese?
A gaggle.
Gaggle.
A gaggle of geese.
Why can't we just say flock? Why can't all birds be a flock? Why we gotta start using words, stupid words like gaggle, where people think we're kidding?
A flock of what is it? What is that bird? The crow. Flock of crows.
Does that have a name?
It's a murder.
See,
Murder
that's
of crows.
stupid.
That's just ludicrous.
That is just dumb.
I'm not doing this.
We should be on a committee to redo the English language where it makes sense, and then force everyone to adhere to it
I agree.
by military force.
And that starts Justin's political presidency.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're ever going to run for office, now
Now would be the
your
time.
policy is.
You got to be mayor
I think
first.
people would get behind that.
Redoing the language.
Yeah.
My big thing is I don't think I'm gonna get the old people vote, but I'm gonna make everyone have to retake their driver's test every 5 years. We'll pay for it, but you got to take it. You know,
Well,
I
I think that's something somebody could get behind.
speaking of my driver's license is about to expire, I got to go get a new driver's
Do it
license.
online, bro.
No, you have to go in for that.
I don't think so.
We tried. We looked. I couldn't get it renewed from the site. We have to go in for it.
Ooh,
they probably think
that's
you're a crazy person.
terrorist or something.
Yeah. Well, if you made it to the end of the podcast today, we're so glad that you did.
Go check out the series
Taking Ground.
if you missed any of it.
This Sunday, we started the new series,
Sushi.
Oh.
Sushi, Sex, and Subtitles.
Oh, we're doing
Subtitles.
that.
Back again.
Back again.
Oh, it's like year 3, ain't it? Or
Year-
4?
Yeah, round 3. This is year 3, so this is round 3.
Oh.
It's highly asked for every year, according to people.
It's people's favorite series. One of
Hey,
them.
People love sushi and sex and subtitles, I guess.
People like a good relationship series, and you
It's
gotta
helpful.
you gotta give them what they need.
Gotta give the people what they want, you know?
Not all the time, but you know.
Anyways,
It was a
Justin.
good series last time.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some
gonna be
good relationships messages and stuff in there.
Right, I'm talking about marriage and relationships and singleness, too.
Oh.
Single,
Dating,
dating,
all that
marriage.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 we're gonna hit.
Boom, chicka, boom, boom.
Justin, if they want more information on the church and the Imagine campaign or any of that stuff,
Yes, transformationchurch.com. You can find anything that your little heart desires about us is on there. And if it's not, then maybe it's on Instagram or Facebook
at
Maybe.
Transformation
at
Pensacola.
Transformation Pensacola or YouTube.
Yep.
We have a YouTube channel. If you haven't liked or subscribed and all those things, subscribe, click the little bell that does something.
Notifications
rate,
on.
review if you're listening on the podcast. Share it
All
with your
that.
buddies.
Yeah,
Just do the things.
do the things. All right.
All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Catch y'all next week for another week, another sermon, another follow-up podcast.